This is a practice fitness video for the Carleton University Fitness Program. As you see, I have a weights bench and mat, and I have an assortment of weights. These are just little 3-pound weights for adding resistance to some of the warm-ups. They're like Zumba sticks, really. If you see me using blue weights, like these are 10 pounds. Now I have a full set of 5, 8, 10, 12, 15, and 20 pounds in addition to these, and I have one 25-pound weight for one-armed rows or concentration curls. But I think for this video I'll just use the 10-pound weights and possibly the 3-pound weights. I have a mat here for floor work, working on the abs, and I have a weights bench for doing various weight exercises with the free weights, the dumbbells. But in this demonstration or practice video, I want to show warm-up and at the end stretches that cool down. In the middle, I'm just going to give a sample of some level 1 exercises for the legs, the abs, the shoulders, chest, and arms, and even the neck. But I'm not going to do too many reps. I'm just going to give a sample of each set of exercises. But first, it's very important to warm up. And so I'm just going to suggest we march on the spot. And in the warm-up, and in fact in all the stretches, the static, or rather the dynamic stretches, the moving and repetitive stretches, and the repetitive weights exercises, try to increase the range of motion. So here we're going taller and up on our toes more. Our elbows are at 90 degrees and we're swinging them more, our arms swinging more than at the beginning. And we're going to go wide, but not too wide at first. And stretch the inner thigh a little bit. And it just works the knee and ankle and hip a little bit differently. And then tall again. Increase the range of motion, knees high, elbows 90 degrees, swinging the arms, shoulders back, chest out, eyes up. Let's go wide again. Wider. And then tall. Now I like to do the dynamic stretches in pairs, something with the upper body and something with the lower body. The first pair is going to be bicep curls with the upper body and toe touches with the lower body. It looks like this. Now we would keep doing that for quite a while, but I'd like to quickly turn it so it's hammer curls with the upper body and heel touches with the lower body, like this. A little slower for the heels. And as I say, once you get into it, try to increase the range of motion and maintain good posture the whole time. Shoulders back, eyes up, head up. Now, the next pair is like climbing the ladder. We're going to reach with one arm and a knee lift on the opposite side. So it looks like this, climbing a ladder. And once we get into it, we increase the range of motion. Good. Now the next pair is a clean, like a weightlifter's clean or a reverse curl, and a butt kick or a kickback. So don't quite hit yourself with your heels, but here we go. So one foot and the other, and on one of the sides, we do the reverse curl. Reverse curl and butt kick or kick back. We need to stretch the front of the thigh. After a number of those repeated, we're going to punch out or reach out and toe touch behind on the same side. It looks like this. And if you look at it from the side, it looks a little bit like we're cross-country skiing. Now once you get into this, you can reach across the body, or go higher, or go lower. You can toe touch behind your heel, and stretch in a variety of ways. The next pair, we don't do jumping jacks, but we do half of it, and they're called star jumps because we end up looking a little bit like a star or an asterisk. So we go to one side and with our leg, and we lift our arms to shoulder height or just a little higher. So we go to one side, center, go to the other side and center. One side and the other. And we do quite a few of these to warm up. And then we change it to an anterior raise. This was a lateral raise. An anterior raise to shoulder height or maybe just a little higher, eye height, and a lunge. So it looks like this. We go out and back and the other side. 2 out, 3 out. This is halfway. 3 more on each side. 2 more on each side. And the last one on this side. And the last one on that side. Good. Now I'd like to do some static stretches as well. And one is that we might go down into the frog sit and hug our knees and squeeze and hold that, and then very slowly come up. Now let's do some calf stretches and some upper body stretches at the same time. So big step forward, down on the heels, the knees are slightly bent but we don't bounce. The back shoulder, bring it across the body for the deltoid stretch. You can do wrist circles to relax the big muscles, and we stretch that. We hold these stretches for 7. Now bring the back foot instep to the front foot heel. There's a bit of a balance issue here. When you have your balance, good posture, shoulders back, head up, back shoulder, do the back scratch on that side. And we hold that one for 7. Now I'm going to release and go right into the other side. Remember, big step forward, shoulder width, big step, good posture, and again, across the body as we do a calf stretch below and the deltoid above. And after 7 of that, holding that for at least 7, we move the back instep to the front heel. We sit into it, we don't bounce, and it's a soleus stretch in the lower body and the tricep stretch in the upper body. The back scratch is the tricep stretch. And we hold that for 7. Now, I'd like to do the front thigh as well, and I just need to kick my weights out of my way here. So we do this on each side and we hold it. Very good posture. Watch yourself and grab the back of the shoe. I don't want to stretch the ligaments, I want to stretch the muscles. So knee under and chest out, eyes up, and then pull it some more, and we hold this for 7. And we don't let go of the shoe when we come out of it. Instead, we try to do hip circles and do 3 or 4 one way, and then do them the more difficult way the other. And then bring the knee up to the chest, point the toe to the floor and up to the ceiling. You can feel that patella, the anterior muscle under the patella there, under your hand, even though you're working the ankle, you can feel the muscle at your knee working. Now do ankle circles both ways, and a good way to do them is to put your toe on the floor and do ankle circles one way or the other. But bring that knee up again, ankle circles. Now open it and bring it across the body. This is hip mobility that we're working on now. Okay, now we're going to do it the same on the other side. I won't take too much time, but just remember the good posture, good solid base, back of the shoe, knee under, hips forward, chest out, shoulders back, and then pull a little more, and we hold that. Remember, when we come out of it, it's hip circles one way, and then the other, and then bring the knee up and point to the floor and ceiling, and the hip mobility stretching across the body, and then ankle circles one way or another. Now, we've really warmed up the entire body, but in another workout, not particularly this one, I do a lot of legs with heavy weights, and we should keep warming up the big muscles in our legs. So I would say let's do squats, and a good way to do them, it makes us really concentrate on the core and gives us an opportunity to work on our upper body at the same time, is to extend your arms at shoulder height. And now squeeze your shoulder blades together. And this is our starting position for each squat. We're going to extend and go down and hold and come up and squeeze. Out, down, up, and squeeze. Now we do a certain number of those, but this time I'd like to demonstrate the one where we hold it for 4 or 5 or 6. So the starting position is like this, and back. We extend out, and we go slowly down. Our knees are at 90 degrees, and we hold for, let's say, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we come up and we pull back. Now another way to do squats is to load up with some heavy weights. As I say, these are just 10s, but using 12s, 15s, or 20s because it's the big muscle in our legs. But if you are doing squats, shoulders back, eyes up, really good posture, engage the core, and down, down, down. Maybe not 100% the first time or two. A little bit more, a little bit more. That's number 4. 5, we'd do 10 of these probably, and we might repeat them again. And also to work on weights, with fairly heavy weights, we would do heel raises. These are not bounces. We're working on the calf muscles, but I call them heel raises. We go up on our toes or the balls of our feet, and you do this, well, maybe 20 times or 12 times, depending on the weight that you have. So that's some of the leg work that we would do in a 60-minute or a 75-minute or a 90-minute class. Let me show you next the shoulder work that we would do using weights. Everybody has weights because you have books. You could get 2 books. You could fill an empty jar with water and have a pair of those. So everybody has weights. Not everyone has bands. People that take my classes know that I like to use bands in a variety of ways. Today, we're going to use weights for shoulders. 10 might be too heavy for some people, 10 pounds. But I'm going to use them to demonstrate. They're really quite visible, aren't they? So the anterior raise is like this if you're doing just one arm at a time. And if you're feeling that you have the right weight or your shoulder strength is pretty good, doing 2 at a time is good as well. I also like to do lateral raises. These are shoulder height, and they're like that. And the way I actually like to do them is in combination. So I'll do 1 and 1 anterior raise, and then the lateral raise. And I'll show you what it looks like as we go up, about eye level, and up, and then out. Now breathing's really important. Exhale, exhale, blow the weight up. So exhale and resist coming down. Exhale and resist coming down, and out and resist coming down. So if you have the right weights, and if I'm leading the class, we'd probably do 10 reps of that combination. And then we move right into the upright row, and the weights are in front of our thighs. We're already resisting gravity, we're already working. Shoulders back, eyes up, and we draw the weight up, lead with the elbows, and bring the weight up to the jawline, and lower the weight. Exhale up, and resist down. Blow the weight up, and resist down. And we'd probably do about 10 of these. Now we're going to move to arms and shoulders and chest with heavier weights, but it's often a good idea to warm those muscles up with lighter weights, like just, these are 10s, but 3s or 5s or 8s. And I'll show you, we're going to be doing curls and presses. So let's do half curls and lower, and 2 and down, and 3. We're going to do 5 of these, so 2 more. And now hold the last one there, and let's finish the job. 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one. And then turn and press as vertical as you can, not in front of the body line, and up and lower the weight. Exhale, blow the weight up, and resist coming down. And we do 5 of those probably. And then we move into hammer curls like this, and tricep extensions or kickbacks like that. And then we go into the one-armed row. And at this point, I'm going to get my weight bench out. So I'm going to put these weights here. And I'm not sure whether I need to adjust. I guess the camera's all right like that, eh? But seated, I would like to do curls, presses, the tricep extension, and then some one-armed work. And we're going to start actually with the one-armed row, which is what I mentioned a moment ago. So you could have much heavier weights for your biceps and lighter weights ready for your shoulders. I'm just going to use these same weights that I've been using. The one-armed row, I like to have my back parallel to the bench, parallel to the floor. The weight's hanging down right below my shoulder. I lead with the elbow, and I lift it up and lower the weight. Exhale and resist. Blow the weight up and lower it. And then of course we turn, after we do 15 or 20 of those, we turn, we check our posture. The starting posture is so important. The weight's hanging down, we lift up to the shoulder and lower the weight. Exhale on exertion and resist on the return. Now let's put a weight in each hand, and we're going to do biceps and shoulders, and we'll do some more chest. You can be sitting in a chair. You can be standing for these. I really like it at Carleton to sit on the ball because it's unstable and it makes our core work. I'm going to sit on the weights bench for this next part, but I'm already supporting the weight, resisting gravity, palms facing forward, shoulders back, and we lift the weights up to the shoulder and lower the weight. Exhale and resist. Blow the weight up and return. And on the last one, we leave it up here and we turn. And now we, notice I go to an okay grip, and that's just to make my shoulders work more. If you're using weights machines, then you're in a track, and the effort is very focused on a particular part of the muscle. If you have a tight grip on the dumbbells or the barbell, it's similar to the machine. If you loosen it, your shoulders have to take more responsibility. So we lift up, exhale, blow the weight up, and resist coming down. And then we do a certain number of those, perhaps 12 or so. And then I'd put one weight down and get a two-handed grip on one of those weights, because this 12 or 15 is about the right weight for me. And I tuck the elbows in, lower the weight down between the shoulder blades, and lift, and lift, and lift. And we do about 12 of those too. Then I'd move into the concentration curl, which stretches our back. You can feel it as you go elbow to knee, off hand to shoulder, and let the weight hang down. The weight's hanging down, and you curl it up and lower the weight. Now, the way I have the camera, you can't quite see the opportunity to turn your wrist as well. So you can curl up, or you can have your palm facing your body and turn your wrist as you lift. I'm turning my wrist here. I guess you can see it in the picture. But we do a certain number of concentration curls, and then some more, the equal number on the other side, of course. And then I think in a normal workout, I would repeat the curls and the presses. One way, the regular participants in my classes will notice sometimes I do a rep the same way. Sometimes we leave one weight on the floor, especially if we're sitting on the ball. It engages our core more because we're not balancing with the counterweight. So we don't balance, and we make our core do the work, and we curl up, and of course we do an equal number on each side. And after we've done the curls, we do the same technique with a press. And again, don't go forward, go vertical. And we have to do the same number on the other side. And that would finish up the chest and shoulder, upper arm work with the weights, except when I use bands, we really work our wrists. And we're doing a certain amount of wrist work, but it could be intentional if we hold the weights like this and simply go like this. And we're working on our grip and our forearm strength. Just stop at the center and go to one side or the other. Some of us like to do it this way. It's called the Choo-Choo Train. And it's kind of fun, but we keep our elbows in. We're really working on our wrists. Another exercise you can do in this position is working on our core, but also our ankles, and our shoulders and chest are engaged too. If you have the weights in, turn 90 degrees and go up on your back toe. This is the finishing position in golf. but also a baseball swing or a tennis swing. And then go 180 all the way back, up on the back toe. And you go, hold it for 1, and back, that's 2. And you do a number of these. And that's a really good total body workout. Okay, I'm going to put the weights down for a moment, but we're going to keep working on weights on the weights bench. And I want it to be in the camera, so I think that'll work. And I'll just show you 2 or 3 things we would do from the bench. Without weights, you could do the tricep dips and work on your triceps if you have a good chair or a bench. Okay? If you're on the floor, you won't have the same range of motion. And what you might want to do for the press, because you can't go lower than the floor. I can go lower than the bench, but you can't go lower than the floor. What you might want to do is when you're fully extended, then lift up a little more and go down and up. Now, there's 2 or 3 things we do on the bench. First, the press, and then the fly. We can also do a tricep exercise, I'll show you if you like. But the bench, we rock back. Make sure your head is still on the bench. Make sure your head is supported and the small of your back pressed in. Well, let's start with flies. So the weights are over our chest, palms facing. We can click the weights together, and we open them up and close them at the top. We go a little wider and up at the top. A little more. This is 4 out and 4 back. We go out as far as we can, 100% now, and we blow the weight up. It's exhale up and resist down. So that's the fly. The bench press, the weights are at the shoulders, palms facing the feet. And we push up and a bit together and we lower the weights. Exhale and resist. Blow the weight up, and we're fully into it. And we would do about 10 or 12 or 15 of those, and we'd probably do 2 sets. Now, there is another tricep exercise if you do have a bench, or if this seems to be a convenient place or time to do it, and that's, you can do the tricep exercise on the bench. We call this the skull crusher for some reason. So I guess the idea is don't let go of the weight. And for me, I feel that more in the abs than doing it the other way. So I do like to do it that way when I'm on my own. Now, there's so much more we can do, but this is a demo video. So I'm going to put the weights away now, and we're going to do some ab work on the mat and some cool down stretches. But let's just review what we've done. We've done a dynamic warm-up. This is not a cardio class, but we did do some marching on the spot and various dynamic stretches at the beginning. The stretches went from our feet and ankles, the entire leg, through the hips. We did a lot of hip work, and the core, which the core goes from the armpits to just above the knee. And we did shoulder work, wrist, arm, chest, back, the one-armed rows. We're going to do some more back. The one thing we haven't done is neck. So before I do the cool down stretches, or perhaps you could think that this is part of them, I'd like to use isometrics to work on the neck. Isometrics are when we use muscles against muscles and nothing moves. So think of pushing your hands together to strengthen your shoulders and chest and bicep and releasing. Or pulling your hands apart, and it's constant force so nothing moves. And you can do this with your knees. I'm not sure whether you can see me very well. Here. if you push your knees together, but the legs resist, you're working on the hip muscles, right? So you push and nothing moves. You usually hold these for about 7, and you usually do the opposite. So you push out and hold. So those are isometrics. You don't even need equipment. You just need to be able to sit in a chair or not even for the upper body. However, the neck. Offer resistance at the front of the head. Make sure the neck and spine are continuous, and push, hold. In class, we hold this for 7 or 10 and release. And then we go to one side, the straight line, spine and neck, push, hold, hold. And again, we hold for 7. And then we do immediately the other side. And when we've done the 3 sides, we do the back or push up and back a little bit. And we hold. There. That's good. But stretching and loosening these big muscles that control the neck are always a good idea. So watch this. I'm going to go chin to chest, chin to elbow to shoulder, chest, shoulder, chest, shoulder. I'm going to do a shoulder check, but very slowly and pausing in the middle to slow myself down. So chest, shoulder, chest, shoulder, chest, shoulder. Now, as you get into this, look up further, higher up, and further back. And then when we stop, just look around the room. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the weights bench. I'm going to get rid of the weights. I think I'll have to adjust the camera a little bit. And we'll finish up with the ABCs, the abs, back, and core. In the seated position, our knees are about 90 degrees or so. You can grab your feet, stretch your lower back if you like, but bring your fingertips up over the laces, up the shins, up the knees, up the thighs, until you sit back and the small of your back makes contact with the mat. Now push it in 10 times and hug the ceiling 10 times. Another way to do this is to reach for your heels 10 times. But when you've done that, then support the weight of your head, bring your knees up, and we're going to go elbow to opposite knee in pairs. So we almost touch and almost touch, 2 and 2 and 3 and 3. And we'll probably do about 10 of those. And then if I really want to torture the abs, we might extend one leg and switch and do the bicycle. Sometimes I do this later in the workout, sometimes I don't do it, and sometimes I do it right now. Now let's bring our knees up and give them a hug and let our head go back on the mat and roll around, massage your lower back. Now keep your head down on the mat, but arms out to the side, and keep your shoulders on the mat. Rotate at the waist to one side and all the way across to the other. And you're doing the windshield wiper with your legs, eh? Your knees are up, your feet are pointing toward the opposite wall, and you're going back and forth. And then just give your knees another hug. If we put our feet down now, we can do the reverse plank, which lifts our hips off the floor, pushes the pelvis to the ceiling, and we hold it. So our head's back on the floor, our arms are out to the side, and we lift up. Now push up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, that's 1. Release and let yourself come right down to the mat. Now lift up and push up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, that's 2, and down. We would do at least 5 of those. And then we would extend our legs straight, 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 arms overhead, and do a great big stretch, the longest our body can do, wiggling our toes, wiggling our fingers. Bring the arms back to the side. We're going to do straight leg raises on each side. So choose a leg and just go up and a little more, and a little more, and a little more. And we do about 10 on each side. So let's go the other side, up, more, more. Try to hit 100% by the 4th or 5th. And if I did a second set of these, I'd put the second foot down, so the knee's at 90 degrees, and it would change the angle a little bit as I worked on the first leg. And I'd go up, 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 and I'd do 10 more, and then I'd do 10 on the second side. Up, 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 and down. Now, stretch out the first leg and put the second ankle over the knee. And if you look down, you can see the number 4 from above. Now lift the bottom leg, reach through the window, and you're doing a number 4 stretch. And you rock back and your head is on the mat. This is a nice stretch in the upper back of the leg on both sides in different ways. Pull tighter if you like, ankle circles to relax the big muscles. And then rock forward and reverse. So we do it on both sides. And then we reach up, grab our toes, and we do the happy baby. And we can start rocking and rocking and rocking, and we come up to the seated position. And we'll do the pretzel. And that's foot over knee, against knee, elbow to the other knee, and a shoulder check. And when you shoulder check, look up and look back. We hold that for 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, depending on the length of the class. And then we do it the other side. And then we slide into the side plank. I do this from my feet. Lots of people do it from their knees. The elbow is under the shoulder. The weight is here. And we're up on the plank. This is a static plank, but you can lift the arm and reach through and go up and down and down. So you can do the static plank for a long count, 10 at least, or you can do a certain number of reps. And you do it on the other side. Whatever you did on that side, you're holding the static plank, or you're doing a certain number of reps of the dynamic plank. When you've done the work looking up or sitting up, done the side plank, we roll over and we finish up face down. There are so many things that we can do here. One is simply the passive back extension. If we have our weight on our elbows and our thighs, we can flutter kick our forearms or our lower legs. If we push down with our palms and forearms and look up with our eyes, we're in a sphinx, and we might do 2 or 3 of those, relaxing into the passive back extension. Or we might do the Cobra, palms down under the shoulders, lifting up. You can keep your elbows bent, or you can straighten them. The Cobra, and then that'll push you up. Knees wide, sit back on your heels, palms forward and wide, letting your forehead come down to the mat. This is a really good stretch. You can hold it for a long time. And then you can roll into the plank. My classes do 30 and 40-second planks. And you can make it more interesting. You can lift a foot, or you can do a push-up or whatever. And then when we have done that, we come up into the bird dog, palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We can do the fire hydrant on either side. We can do a straight leg raise. I like to do the bird dog. So you choose an arm and an opposite leg, and you point them and hold, and you do the same number and same durations on the other side. And then we usually finish up with a some sort of a lunge. I'll do a kneeling lunge today, and that takes my head out of the picture. Maybe that's a good thing. And the upper body, we could stretch, squeeze the beach ball behind, or stretch and go up and up. And then the other side, actually I'll often do a palms down here to stretch, but wide, and then into the frog sit, and squeezing the knees, and up, 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 and reaching for the ceiling, and inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling through the pursed lips, and that is a sample workout.